Our city has a lot of traditions. This is one of them. The cannon in the Peter and Paul fortress is fired at midday every day.
The Cathedral of St. Peter and St. Paul, with its gilt spire, dominates the whole panorama of the Neva banks. A weather vane in the form of an angel with a cross is on the top of the building. The angel's wings spread about 4 meters. Till now, it remains the city's tallest architectural structure, which is 122.5 meters high. The cathedral was erected between 1712 and 1733 by the architect Domenico Thrazzini. The architectural style of this cathedral is a combination of different traditions and European styles. The cathedral is the sacred burial place of every Tsar since Peter, with the exception of Nicholas II.
The boathouse. You can see the boathouse, a pavilion where Peter's boat was kept. People call the boat the grandfather of the Russian fleet. Nowadays, the boat is kept in the Central Naval Museum. April the 30th, 1993. The Council of Ministers, the government of the Russian Federation, decided to make the historical cultural reservation, the Peter and Paul Fortress, the State Museum of the History of St. Petersburg, on the territory of Zaitchi Island. St. Petersburg, from its very foundation, has several times suffered from flood destruction. The water in the Neva has risen above the 1.5 meter mark over 300 times. Floods are particularly severe in autumn. There are special water level marks made on memorial plaques in the following places. Under the archway of the Nevsky Gate of the Peter and Paul Cathedral. Under the archway of the Admiralty Building. On the wall of the palace of Peter I in the Summer Garden. On the walls of some houses on the Pereulok Vitsova.
St. Petersburg is sometimes called the Northern Venice. A century and that city young, gem of the northern world amazing, from gloomy wood and swamp uprising, had risen in pride and splendour blazing. An extract from The Bronze Horseman by Alexander Pushkin. Today the city stands on 42 islands. The main waterway of the city is the Neva River, and it adds much to the beauty of the city. It is impossible to imagine St. Petersburg without its bridges, canals and embankments. The city was founded in the mouth where the Neva spills its waters into the Gulf of Finland. It was the first Russian port on the shores of the Baltic Sea. Do you know that the first canal was dug within St. Petersburg fortress? The oldest canal in St. Petersburg is the Kronberg. It was dug in 1706. The longest canal is the Ligovsky, which is 22 kilometers long. It was dug between 1718 and 1721. Later, it was covered up with earth. The shortest canal was the Skipersky Canal on Basil Island. Its length was 438.5 meters long. The Winter Canal is one of the most charming spots of old St. Petersburg, linking the Neva and the Moika. It is for almost 300 years that St. Petersburg has stood on the banks of the Neva River. It was founded along the ancient trade waterway for centuries connecting peoples of the East and the West. It's well known that 1,500 years ago, the banks of the Gulf of Finland, the Neva and the Volkhov were inhabited by different tribes: Vod, Jura, Kuriela. Later on, in the middle of the 18th century, Slav tribes came to these lands. Their peaceful settlement among the native tribes opened a new page in the history of the Neva area. The legend says that in the 1st century AD, the apostle, Andrew the First Called, went along this waterway from the Black Sea coast to the north of Europe. Some facts about the Neva River. Geologically, the Neva River is very young. The Neva River is only 4,000 years old. It is 74 kilometers, 50 miles, long. It is between 300 and 650 meters wide. It is between 6 and 24 meters deep. All the 8 bridges on the Neva can be drawn apart. It is a very dangerous river. Its level rises when a strong wind blows from the sea. Its current slows down and its level rises. There have been more than 300 floods in St. Petersburg. The first flood was marked in 1703. The last disastrous flood was in 1924. Do you know that there are 539 bridges in St. Petersburg, 342 in the city itself? There are 22 drawbridges. The widest of St. Petersburg's bridges is the Sini Bridge across the Moika, a part of St. Isaac's Square. It is 97.3 meters wide and 32.5 meters long. It was so called as its old timber structure had been painted in that colour. The longest bridge in St. Petersburg is the Alexander Nevsky Bridge. Its length is 909.5 meters long. There are 8 bridges over the Neva. From the Troitsky Bridge, one can see 7 other bridges. The embankments of the Neva, there are 300 of them, have the total length of 150 kilometers. St. Petersburg's bridges, canals and embankments are an integral part of its architectural ensemble and its great history. The lacework of St. Petersburg's railings, the granite embankments and the bridges over the rivers make our city one of the most beautiful cities in the world.